There are 4 factors that house the 15 Berkeley People Management Competencies. The Berkeley People Management Competencies, or BPM competencies, stem from the Korn Ferry Leadership Architect Competency Model. The third and largest factor cluster in the BPM leadership competency model is people. The people factor represents the competencies that impact our ability to build collaborative relationships, optimize diverse talent, and influence people. There are 6, count 'em, competencies in the people factor. Collaborates, manages conflict, develops talent, values differences, communicates effectively, and drives vision and purpose. While you are learning about the 6 people BPM core competencies, check out your companion guide to follow along. For each competency, you will notice behavioral anchors in 3 categories: skilled, overuse, and less skilled. As you learn more about each competency, circle if you've printed or bold if you're working on your computer statements that are true for you. So if you notice a behavioral anchor that is true for you when you review the items in the skilled section, circle or bold it. These are your current strengths to capitalize on. As you think about those overuse behaviors, we ask that you remember that sometimes too much of a good thing can be harmful. We all know people who are so focused on one thing or another that productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness might suffer. That's what the overuse behaviors call out. If there are statements in overuse that you find true about yourself, do the same, circle or bold them. These are the areas that you want to be mindful of and monitor. Thinking also about what needs to change to appropriately demonstrate the skill while not being so focused upon it that you're actually inadvertently causing harm or bottlenecks. And if there are items in the list of less skilled bullet points that are true for you, circle or bold those. Those in the less skilled area can be perceived as areas for your own growth and development. Items to prioritize for your role or the role that you're hopeful to grow into. Okay, so now you're going to learn more about collaborates, manages conflict, develops talent, values differences, communicates effectively, and drives vision and purpose. Let's start with how you show up as a manager who collaborates and who also enables effective collaborations. Collaborates is defined as building partnerships and working collaboratively with others to meet shared objectives. Check out these behavioral anchors in the skilled category for this competency. First up, works cooperatively with others across the organization to achieve shared objectives. Represents own interest while being fair to others in their areas. Partners with others to get work done, credits others for their contributions and accomplishments, and gains trust and support of others. Go ahead, take a few moments and bold or circle any of these that you perceive as behaviors that you regularly and skillfully use in your day-to-day work. If you were to overuse this skill, it would look like these behaviors. You are overly consensus-driven and struggle to make decisions in a timely manner. You risk being perceived as lacking courage and failing to stand up for your own beliefs. You may be too accommodating, and you may prioritize collaboration at the expense of making tough decisions. Go ahead and circle or bold any of these overuse indicators that may be true for you. Now take a few moments and consider the items in the less skilled category for collaborates. Do you overlook opportunities to work collaboratively with others? Do you value your own interests above others? Do you shut down lines of communication across groups? Or prefer to work alone and be accountable for individual contributions? If any of these items ring true for you, even in the least bit, go ahead and bold or circle those. Let's check out manages conflict, which means handling conflict situations effectively with a minimum of noise. What do you notice in the skilled category for manages conflict? Leans into conflicts, seeing them as opportunities, works out tough agreements, and settles disputes equitably, facilitates breakthroughs in integrating diverse views and finding common ground or acceptable alternatives, and settles the differences in a productive way with a minimum of noise. Which of these do you regularly do at work? Let's shift to what overuse of manages conflict resembles. It may be seen as meddling in others' issues, is too eager to engage others in debate, and pushes for resolution before others are ready. Do any of these behaviors show up for you in your experience as a manager? What about less skilled in managing conflict? As a manager, be cautious of avoiding conflict, struggling to make progress when working through disagreement, taking sides without digging deeply enough to fully understand the issues, allowing conflict to cause massive disruption in an organization, putting people on the defensive, and being accommodating with an idea of everyone getting along. Take a few moments to think, if you're being 100% honest with yourself, are any of these less skilled behaviors true for you? Next up in the people factor in the BPM competency model is develops talent, developing people to meet their career goals and the organization's goals. As a manager who is seen as skilled in this competency, you place a high priority on developing others. Develop others through coaching, feedback, exposure, and stretch assignments. You align employee career development goals with organizational objectives, and you encourage people to accept developmental moves. As you bold and circle the behaviors you use as a talent developer, think, how are you getting feedback on this, right? And how is this going for your team members? What do you need to ask them to know? As a manager overusing the develops talent competency, you concentrate on the development of a few at the expense of the many, overestimate people's capacity for growth, or are too quick to adopt faddish developmental approaches. Think strategies that are untested or unverified. If you do any of these things, what are you doing to monitor and adjust? And if you are less skilled as a talent developer, you don't take the time to work on the development of others, are more of a check the box developer, meaning you go in with the easiest option to fulfill the talent development obligations. You don't make use of available organization resources and systems to help people grow. And you have difficulty identifying developmental moves, opportunities, experiences, or assignments for your team. Are any of these behaviors true for you? Consider what you might do differently, stop, start, or adjust your approach to support your team more effectively. With collaborates, manages complexity, and develops talent under your belt, let's dive into thinking critically about valuing differences as a manager. To value differences, you recognize the value that different perspectives and cultures bring to an organization. Here are the skilled behaviors for values differences. Seeks to understand different perspectives and cultures, contributes to work climate where differences are valued and supported, applies others' diverse experiences, styles, backgrounds, and perspectives to get results, and is sensitive to cultural norms, expectations, and ways of being or communicating. With these skilled behavioral anchors, think, which of these are you doing well? What could you do more of to more effectively value differences among your team? Inclusion and belonging are critical to the UC's employee experience and work culture. But there are some items to keep in check that could be considered overuse of valuing differences, such as always prioritizing valuing difference over achieving results, making too many allowances for members of a particular group, or being overly sensitive to different groups when delivering tough messages. Valuing difference, like all of the BPM competencies, gets stronger through self-reflection, practice, and doing something with the feedback that you get. Here is a framework for knowing what less skill use of this competency looks like. Lacks awareness of other cultures, not doing the work to learn about other cultures. Treats everybody the same without regard to their differences. Expects everybody to adapt to their ways of thinking, communicating, being, and doing. And lacks curiosity and interest in different people's backgrounds and perspectives. Now let's plan for effective communication as a manager. Communicates effectively is defined as developing and delivering multi-mode communications that convey a clear understanding of the unique needs of different audiences. Here are the skills to flex as an effective communicator. You are effective in a variety of communication settings: one-on-one, small group and large groups, and among diverse styles and position levels. You attentively listen to others. How about that? In communication, listening. And adjust to fit the audience and the message. Provide timely and helpful information to others across the organization, and encourage the open expression of diverse ideas and opinions. Here's what to monitor and be cautious of as a manager communicator. If you're overusing your communicates effectively competency, you may overinform, like giving out information that isn't helpful or harms productivity. May try to win with style and communication over fact and substance, or may invest too much time in crafting communications. When you are considering your effectiveness as a communicator, check in on the following less skilled behaviors. Has difficulty communicating clear written and verbal messages. Tends to always communicate in the same way without adjusting to diverse audiences. Doesn't always take time to listen or understand others' viewpoints. And doesn't consistently share information others need to do their jobs. I mentioned earlier that the people factor is the largest of the 4 competency clusters. It's no surprise, right? Yes, the right mindset is important. Driving results is important. Focusing on your self-improvement is important. But paramount as a manager of people is your ability to lead people and teams to new heights. This is, after all, the Berkeley People Management Leadership Competency Model. Your roadmap in that effort are the mission, vision, and values of the University of California. To that end, let's close out the people factor thinking about driving vision and purpose, which means painting a compelling picture of the vision and strategy that motivates others to action. So not just painting the picture, but bringing people with you along in that work. Which of these skilled behavioral anchors are true for you? Do you talk about the future possibilities in a positive way? Create milestones and symbols to rally support behind the vision. Articulate the vision in a way that everyone can relate to. Create organization-wide energy and optimism for the future. And show personal commitment to the vision. The skilled behavioral anchors give you a template for driving vision and purpose for your team. To guardrail over using this competency, check in on these items. May lack follow-through to execute vision, communicates at a high level too often, and may lack patience when others don't share the same or similar vision or sense of purpose that you do. Finally, here are the less skilled behaviors. Fails to personally connect with the organization's vision, has difficulty describing the vision in a compelling way, can't simplify enough to help people understand complex strategy or translate high-level strategy to a team and individual goals, and struggles to energize and build excitement in others. Okay, head back to your companion guide and do a few things to reflect on the people factor competencies. This is a big group, and it's where you might think fairly expansively about each person on your team and team dynamics. For skilled, bold, or circle your strengths. For overuse, bold or circle items to monitor. For less skilled, bold or circle items you can improve upon. Start thinking about ways to maximize your strengths, close gaps in your development areas, and resolve the questions you have about the anchors that were a little bit cloudy to you. All right, now's the time to move on to the 4th and final factor cluster in the BPM competency model, self.